What way do you sit at work? Do you sit hunched like this? Or do you sit upright at work? Do you know that ballerinas have a beautiful and graceful posture? And soldiers are upright and rigid and firm. Today we are talking about body postures, which means how do you keep your body when you're still? So like I'm sitting upright, or I can even sit slouched. You're going to learn various words for how we keep our body. So stay tuned in this lesson with me to learn different verbs for sitting and standing. My name is Michelle. Keep watching. So here we are, and we are going to start with the first word that we have, and that is to sit upright. Yes, this word is used for sitting, first of all. And this is the posture that even your grandmother would approve of, because this is the best posture for our body when we are sitting. This means that you sit upright with your shoulders backwards and your back vertical. Vertical means standing straight. And not only that, your chin should also be held high. It should not be like this. So if you're standing upright with your shoulders backward, back straight, and your chin up, that's called sitting upright. When do you sit upright? I usually I still do sit upright, but I remember that whenever I used to go for my art class in school, I always used to sit upright because I used to really enjoy my art class. It's always suggested that when you're working, you must sit upright. To sit straight. Do you know that upright can be used in a very different way as well? Yes, so a person who has very good morals is also called an upright person. So if your friend finds a wallet full of money and also cards, and he chooses to return the wallet to the person to whom it belongs, then your friend is an upright citizen. You could say that Lisa is an upright citizen. What it means here is that she is perfect in the sense about her morals. She never does something wrong. So these are the two ways that you can use the word upright. You can use it for body posture, and you can also use it for behavior. While it is said that we should sit upright, it's also said that we should never hunch at our desk. And yes, that's the next word that we have, to hunch. So like I showed you in the beginning of the lesson, to hunch means to lean forward. I would like to show it to you. So if I lean forward, my back goes like this, my back bends forward. And this position is really not nice for your spine. So you should always try to sit upright and not hunch at your desk. We usually hunch when we are tired or maybe, a bit bored, but it's not a very good way to sit. But if you want to use this word in a sentence, you could say that he hunched at his desk, which means to sit with a bent back. Okay, we also have a synonym for the word hunched, and that is slumped. And you could use slumped. For example, you could say that she slumped while watching TV. This means that she was bending forward and watching TV, which definitely harmed her spinal cord. So you have another synonym for the word hunched, and that is slumped. Now, there's another usage of the word hunch other than talking about the body posture. You can use a hunch as a synonym for the word guess. Usually, when you're guessing something, you could say that I had a guess that you would be here before I arrive. You can replace that with the word hunch. You could say that I had a hunch that you would be here before I arrive. So that's a guess. So these are the two different ways to use this word for your body posture and also to make a guess. I'll write that here for you, to make a guess. Okay, now with this, we look at the next word, reclined. So when we hunch, we lean our back forward, but when we recline, we lean our back backwards, almost so much so that we are almost in a lying position. So when you watch TV and you're way too relaxed, that's when you're reclining. Have you heard of a reclining chair? Yes, that magical chair that whenever you push your back backwards, you can easily go backwards and the chair reclines. So this can also be used as a verb. And sometimes when you recline your chair, there magically appears a footrest on which you can keep your foot as well. So you're almost in a lying position, a horizontal position. So reclining is to lean your back. To lean your back. And leaning means to move your body backwards, like you can lean on someone. The same way here you're leaning on a chair, a recliner. So this is how you can use reclining when you're very relaxed. And you could also use it in a sentence that she was reclining on the sofa while watching TV. Okay, yeah, but my tip and advice for you is that it's really not a good idea to recline while driving. So if you're driving, don't recline your chair. But it's perfectly okay to recline while watching TV. Okay, now we look at the next word that we have, sprawl. So sprawling is reclining in a much greater intensity, which means that when you recline, you put your back backwards, but when you sprawl, you even flung your arms. Your arms are like that and your legs are wide open. So you're actually in a physical position which looks very untidy. So if somebody walks into the room and you're sprawling, it looks very, very untidy, and it's usually not recommended at a professional place. Even reclining is not, for that matter. So sprawling happens usually when you're very tired and you really need to relax and maybe you're sleepy. So let's say you're eating popcorns, you're watching a movie and you almost fall asleep. So your hands could be, in just some disorganized position, and your arms would be, again in a disorganized position. So this is what sprawling is: to lie down in an untidy way or to sit back in an untidy way. With your arms spread and your legs also spread. Okay, now sprawling also has another meaning. Have you heard of urban sprawling? Urban sprawling is basically when you have a lot of shops and municipal developments, shops and neighborhood, small local stores developing around an urban area. That's called urban sprawling, which does not look good because it's not planned. So you have a planned city, but you have an unplanned city which just keeps growing and spreading, and that's called an urban sprawl. And my suggestion to you is, do not sprawl too much. It looks very untidy. Okay, now with this, we look at the next word, which is for standing. So stooping is like we had hunched while we sit. While we are sitting, we lean our back forward. The same way, you stoop when you're standing. So when you lean your back forward like this while you're standing, you're basically stooping. And when do you do this? So let's say, you and 3 or 4 of your friends are standing, and, you all are standing and you are planning to click a picture. And you are possibly the tallest one, and you want to fit in the frame so that you don't look taller than anyone, and probably one part of your face just cuts off in the picture. So if you want to be a part of the frame, you'll put your back forward and lean forward. This means that you're stooping. So to put your back forward while standing is called stooping. And have you ever been to buildings which have really low doors, especially for people who are really tall? When you have to pass through a door which is very low, you need to stoop down so that you can easily pass through without getting your head hurt. That's called stooping. And to use it in a sentence, you could say that he had to stoop in order to go to the next room, which means that he had to bend forward while walking. Now, just like the other words that we have seen, we can also use stoop like we used, upright. Upright is when you're following a moral conduct and you're having a very good behavior. But stooping is used when you do not have good behavior. So let's say that the same friend who found a wallet filled with money and she returned it to the person, so she had an upright behavior. But if she kept it with herself, then she stooped down for money, which means that she did something bad for money. So wrong behavior or immoral behavior is also called as stooping. Immoral behavior. You can use it in a sentence for immoral behavior by saying that they stoop down to violent threats to get things their way. Okay? Now we look at the next one, slouching. So slouching is a stronger version of hunching. Okay? So hunching is when you sit down at your desk like this, and slouching is when you lean a little bit more forward, maybe because you're extremely bored and you've got nothing to do. So if you're in your colony at 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. and you're in your building and you look outside, to see what people are doing, and you see a group of teenagers doing nothing, they're really, idle and they're not doing anything. Maybe they have their bikes and they're slouching over it, which means bending forward over it because they're absolutely bored. You could say it as, I just saw a group of teenagers slouching in the colony. So slouching is to bend forward because you're bored. Great. Now we look at the next one. Huddled. What if a robber came in your house? What would you do? Would you go tell him, hey buddy, I'm here? You will definitely not do that. You'll try to hide somewhere so that the robber cannot hurt you, even though he takes whatever he wants. But you'll protect yourself first. So maybe you'll just get into a closet and sit down there. But can you stand in a closet? No, you have to sit down. And how should you sit down? With your legs and your hands and your body coming together like this. So you're trying to hide, and in a very small body, means you're trying to get smaller. You're putting your hands and your feet together to become smaller. And that is called as huddled. If you want to use it in a sentence, you could say that, I saw a child huddled at the corner, which means that he was sitting there just in the corner, with his hands and body together. To bring your hand and body together. Hands and legs together. Another way to use this would be, what happens when it's raining? You find a cluster of people, means a group of people, maybe standing under a cover to protect themselves from the rain if they don't have umbrellas. So that disorganized group or disorganized crowd is called a huddle. And you could say that I saw a huddle standing under the cover to protect themselves from the rain. Okay, now the next word that was, my tummy's paining. Okay, thank God it's not paining, but bent double is when you bend your entire body forward because of pain. It also happens when you're laughing really hard. Sometimes you see a really funny scene and you just can't control your laughter, so you're laughing so much that your tummy almost starts paining. And in other cases, if someone punches your tummy, you bend forward in pain. If you want to use it in a sentence, you can say that she was standing bent double behind me with pain, which means that her body, which means her shoulder and her tummy, were leaned forward completely, almost to the ground. So bent double is to lean forward completely or lean forward to the ground. Okay, So thank you so much everyone for watching this session with me. I hope it was fun for you. If it was, then don't forget to press like and come back for more lessons with me. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.